Here's my palette for this painting. Titanium white, yellow ochre, Naples yellow, cadmium yellow light, cadmium red light, quinacridone rose, Graham Backer red, crimson, alizarin crimson, permanent green light, phthalo yellow green, this ivory black. Here's the ultramarine blue, manganese blue, very beautiful color. Here's burnt sienna, burnt umber, mortem caput violet, and it's dioxazine purple. This is the last one. Before I start my painting, I sand all the bubbles of the canvas first with the sandpaper. Then first I draw this on the paper, the face, not straight on the canvas, and adjust every feature and adjust with my caliper, measuring the face. That is, measure carefully the eyes, that is 3 eyes in a row like that, the mouth. So you need to remember that the wings of the nose is straightening up with a tear dot, and the mouth is going to the pupils, and so on. So after I would make a good sketch, a rough sketch, but proportions right, I transfer my portrait. You see that's very basic. So I transfer with the transferring paper, carbon paper. So I transfer that and fix with the fixative that you can buy in any art store, workable fixative, but shake it well. Well, it says 2 minutes, you shake it, and then you spray that with the fixative, then the drawing stays on the canvas, not, smudging with the paint, with the oils. After I fix it, you need to take a linseed oil. It's a pretty good linseed oil, and take a rag, regular rag, t-shirts of your husband, of your brother, or yourself. Take that like this and rub the linseed oil all over the canvas. Not too much that you are ready to cook your pancakes on that. So make sure that it's not leaking anywhere. So you rub it. Why I do that? Because it's very easy to paint on a oiled canvas, and use less oil, that the paint is going thick and beautiful on the canvas. Usually I start my painting with the eyes. If eyes are looking good for me, so I'm going to work on the eyes. You probably see many videos, and many artists you have seen on the videos, they have own techniques, own rules, whatever, all own tips. So this is just mine. That's what I like to start with the eyes. If you look at the painting, the original painting, her eyes very lit up. She has a blue eyes, but here seems like a green. Why it is? Because a lot of warm color around the eyes and reflection from her sweater, from her hair, from environment. So her eyes look like a little greenish, which is very pretty. And I use as many colors I can find in the eyes, observing. Observation is #1 for artists. If you carefully observe, take your time to observe the photograph or the person you work with, and then you place your colors and create your transition from the light to the shadow or colors transition. So I'm going to start with the eyes with a round brush, #1. So before I start, I'm going to use yellow ochre and a little white, and I'm going to be underpaint where the light is going like that. Very roughly, so don't worry. I'm using rags to wipe my brush if it's too much. So I'm going like that. Then I made in a little titanium white, make it lighter, like this. Then another eye, it looks like a cat eye. Oh my God. So that I'm going just to underpaint that. Then I'm going to paint a little bit ivory black and blue. I don't like use just black itself because it's just too much, and when it's dry, it seems like it's dull. Right now it looks very prominent. So I'm going to tone it down later. Oops. So when you do this, oops, you just wipe it a little bit, or just ignore, you can paint over. So that's eyes. Then I'm going to put the whites of the eyes. Whites of the eyes, it's sort of, you can mix the skin tone, which is yellow ochre, or you can Naples, I'm using Naples yellow, and add a little, cool it down, a little ultramarine. French ultramarine or ultramarine blue, it's pretty much the same. So I'm going to put that together, which is giving you, if it's too dark, you're adding, of course, a little white. So you're going like that, and it's too dark, so don't worry, be happy. Just put that white and just balance that, okay? Seems like you don't see the difference right now, but it will when you put the skin tone on it, around the eye, so that you put in whites of this, and it's all should be, I'm going to add a little dioxazine purple, just a touch to that, because the portrait should be, if you work with a photograph, the portrait should be much more creative with the colors, and you're making art, not copying. No way you're copying photograph. You're copying photograph only for purpose likeness. But if you copy too much of the light and shadow of a photograph, you're making mistakes, and it's going not really work for you then. So you just take your time. See those yellow eyes, which is already seems like fill up with light. Fill up with light. Now I'm using black, ivory black, and ultramarine, because Dasha, her name is Dasha, she was 2 years old, and she had blue eyes, and I'm doing that only on the top, because the upper eyelid dropping shadow on Dasha's eyes from the top. So I'm making shadow right there. Very gentle shadow. No highlight yet. No highlight, but just very rough study. It's like a sketch you're doing. It's just a sketch of study the eyes. So I'm doing that. I'm looking at the portrait. And you know what I tell you? I'm copying the old portrait which I painted several years ago of Dasha. And as many portraits you make from the same photograph, they're going to look different. Because you grow as an artist, you have a different vision from each portrait. The same even portrait you paint, you have, now you learn something and you have different vision of that. So now I'm going manganese, what a name. I'm going manganese blue to start bluing her eyes right there. And you need just, I like to top color on a color, just build up the value and colors. I don't like to use just, or to see one color or even 2 colors. It's so boring. So I'm going just to use now manganese and French ultramarine, and go make more depths under the eyelid right there. And then just go in short brush strokes with a round brush. Number 1, just build up the value. Okay.